My name is Johnny Briones. I'm a top memory expert and a grandmaster of memory. When people hear what I can do with my memory, they're absolutely blown away because I never heard of anyone who can memorize a shuffle deck of cards under a minute, memorize 27 names in 1 minute. They're just amazed by what I could do with my memory. But a lot of people like to jump to the conclusion that I'm some sort of genius, some sort of memory savant gifted with the ability to remember information. But that's not true. I didn't always have a good memory. My memory journey starts 7 years ago when I was in high school. Now, in middle school, I got straight A's in every single class through my whole middle school career, and I did very little work to get those straight A's. And so I thought going into high school is gonna be the same thing, a piece of cake, just like that. I'm gonna have all A's again. But boy, was I in for a surprise. My high school was a little bit different from regular high schools. My high school started in 8th grade, which is different already, but it was also a preparatory school. It was meant to help me prep for college. And so, man, I had homework every single day in all my classes, way more homework than I did in middle school. And I also had to write papers all the time. I hated writing papers. It was probably the worst thing I could not stand when I was in high school. And so the workload was tenfold, 10 times more than the amount I had in middle school. Now, seeing how I finished high school, you might think I didn't have any problems at all. In high school, when I graduated, I was student of the year, valedictorian, presidential scholar, which means every single year in high school, 8th grade to 12th grade, I got straight A's in all my classes. And so you would think, man, Johnny just has this natural knack for school. It's really easy for him to learn everything. He doesn't have to study as much. But none of that is true at all. The truth is, it was a complete struggle for me for the first 3 years, from 8th grade to 10th grade, and a little bit of junior year in the beginning. But I was struggling every single day. I actually made myself sick. That's how stressed out I was, how worried I was. I made myself sick for 3 years, 8th grade to 10th grade. But I'll get more into that later. Now, I spent a lot of time studying in school. You might think, straight A student, valedictorian student of the year, all these things, I didn't have to study at all. But no, it was the exact opposite. I was studying all the time. And the way I studied was absolutely insane. So let's take Spanish, for example. Okay, so each week we had vocabulary we had to learn. And so it might be 1 page or 2 pages. It just depended on the chapter we were learning at the time. And so this is how I studied the vocabulary, okay? So I would open the book, right, go to the vocabulary page we had to learn, or pages, and I would go through and just repeat them over and over and over again. Because at the time, I didn't know anything about memory techniques. All I knew about learning was repeating something until you got it. So maybe the word was comer, which means to eat. So I would be comer, to eat, comer, to eat, comer. And so I would do that, a couple times, maybe 10 times, 15 times, then move on to the next vocabulary word. And so maybe it's la biblioteca. La biblioteca is the library. So I'll be, okay, the library, la biblioteca. La biblioteca, it's going to be the library. The library, la biblioteca. So I would do that over and over and over. I would do that for every single vocabulary word. And I will also pay attention to the spelling. Because for the vocab test, quizzes, you have to spell the words, right? So my class, Spanish class, you got to speak it. You also got to spell it. And so what I would do is this. So I would close the book, and then I would go from memory, try to write every single vocabulary word that was on that page. Now, what made this a little bit more difficult is that I didn't have any, quiz, okay? So say if I had the actual vocab quiz, it might say to eat. Then you have to write comer, right? You have to write the actual Spanish word. Or you're given the Spanish word and you have to write the English meaning. I didn't have any of that. All I was doing was trying to remember all of those vocabulary words and just put them on that piece of paper. And so I would go through, like, okay, wait, oh yeah, comer, that means to eat. Okay, got it. Wait, there was a library, yeah, biblioteca. Yeah, but what was the first part? Was it al biblioteca? La biblioteca. Okay, got it. Boom. So I would do that for every single word. I would go through, write them all down. Then, when I think I got them all, I would open the book and compare. So I would go through and make sure all the spelling was correct and I had all the words there. But this is where my studying got a little bit crazy. This is where I got a little bit weird. And so I would go through, and if I misspelled one word or if I missed a word, I would repeat the same process all over again. I would go through, and the word I really messed up on, so maybe I just like forgot it, or I didn't spell it correctly, I would really focus on the spelling. I would say it a lot more times. But I would go through, say all the words again, repeat them a couple times, close the book, and rewrite them all down. I would keep doing that until I got it perfect. Until I wrote every single vocabulary word perfectly, until I remembered every single vocabulary word. So I did that for every single vocabulary pages we had to learn. Every single time for my Spanish class, okay? And it took hours to do that, right? Of course, no, if there's like maybe 10 per page, 15 per page, if there's 2 pages, you got 30 vocabulary words. Sometimes you have 40 or 50. And so going through that process takes a long time. But that's what I did. And that was just Spanish. I had all these other classes and I did the exact same thing. Even math. Math was the one subject I excelled at. I would do the exact same thing for math. I would try different variations of the problem, work it backwards, really understand the whole concept, why this equation works, why the process I'm using, allows me to solve the problem. So that's what I would do for all my classes, and it took hours upon hours of studying to get to that point because I was a perfectionist when I was in high school. I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Everything was absolutely perfect. And so you know what I did before school actually started? I would get there early and go talk to my teachers. Every single day I would talk to my teachers. Even if I got the homework assignment down, even if I knew I did it perfectly, I would go to my math teacher and be like, hey, did I do this right? Is this the right process? Go to my science teacher, go to my English teacher, do the exact same thing because I want to make sure it was perfect. I could not afford to miss anything on it. And that's part of it that led to the stress, led to the worriness, led to the anxiety. That's part of it being perfect because I was so scared of missing anything on any assignment, any quiz, any test. I was so nervous and stressed out. Like, oh my God, what if I forget one thing on this test? Or if I get 1 point off on this assignment? Am I gonna have, my perfect GPA? Am I gonna get a straight A still? Am I gonna be valedictorian? I was so nervous all the time. But the other part that played into it was the amount of information I had. I had so much information to learn that I know it just overwhelmed me because I knew when I got home, I was like, oh my God, I have to study. It's going to take hours and hours and hours to learn all this information. I was so stressed and nervous about the whole thing. And that's something that stuck with me for so long. All that stress and nervousness made me sick. I was so stressed out, so worried all the time, I made myself physically sick. Every single day before school, every single day I had school, I couldn't eat breakfast because I wanted to make me... Sorry. It wanted to make me throw up because I just had a sick feeling in my stomach every day before school that if I went, I could mess something up, mess up my grade, mess up my future. I was so nervous. I couldn't eat breakfast. And that was 3 years of my life I experienced that. 3 years. And from 8th grade to 10th grade. And just thinking about it right now, tearing up, drinking water, feel it. Sorry. The worst part of my life by far, being that sick every single day. And that's something I experienced. That's something I did because I had no other way to learn the information in school at all. No one taught me anything on how to remember vocabulary, on how to remember equations, remember definitions. No one taught me any of that at all. And so I was just, repeating it over and over and over, and it made me so stressed out. That was my life. I had to go home and study all the time, and then when I woke up, be worried. I would wake up to a sickening pain in my stomach already, automatically. And to go to breakfast. Breakfast. Can't even talk about it. Don't want to talk about it anymore. And so yeah, so that was my life, and it was absolutely horrendous. and kind of living that life, try to be this perfectionist, trying to get everything down in school perfectly so my future could be the best possible. So I can make my mom proud, so I can make my family proud by getting straight A's all through my high school career. But something happened 10th grade, at the end of 10th grade, beginning of junior, and that summer in between. I started to work out, and working out was absolutely amazing because uh, it was just me. I didn't have to worry about anything else. There was nothing else involved. When I worked out, I didn't think about school, didn't think about tests, homework, anything I had to do. The only thing that mattered was working out, doing that extra rep, do my next exercise. If it was push-ups, pull-ups, curls, triceps, whatever it might be, just focusing on that. And it was absolutely the coolest thing ever, and seeing the progress over time getting stronger. And that's what I loved about it. And one Christmas Eve, I decided to test myself, test my physical strength, and I decided to do 2,400 push-ups on Christmas Eve. So 100 push-ups per hour. Now, of course, I had to sleep, so some hours got doubled up, and it was so challenging. Of course, no, it sounds hard, but I didn't know it was gonna be that difficult when I decided, hey, let's do 2,400 push-ups for Christmas Eve. And so, going through the push-ups, the first hundred, a couple hundred were pretty easy. I'm like, yeah, not too bad. But then, of course, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, my chest was already sore, and so I had to fight through the pain to get those other push-ups, right? And so that was my whole day. I was like, oh my god, I gotta stop, do some push-ups, and um, it was a couple minutes till midnight, before Christmas. I was like, oh my god, I gotta finish these push-ups, hurry, hurry, hurry. And I actually took a picture of myself doing my last push-up. I got my cousin to take the picture for me. And it was such a cool experience actually finishing all 2,400 because I remember where I was, where I could barely do a pull-up on the pull-up bar over here I have. Barely do a pull-up. But then, here I am now, no, back then, now, Christmas Eve, I could do 2,400 push-ups in one day. And so I was so, amazed by what I was able to accomplish with my physical body that it gave me confidence physically. I was like, man, whatever comes along the way, I could do. I could do 2,400 pull-ups next. Let's start that. And so I was so excited by that. And so, you know, that was going on when I was, in school still, being sick and all that. But I really loved working out. And so one day I thought to myself, because I was sick all the time, I was like, there's no way I can live life like this. I can't go on. College is next. College is going to be a million times worse than high school. And I'm going to be sick for 4 years straight. Every single day I'm going to be sick going to class, sick about studying, sick about all the work I have to do. And so I just, I couldn't take it anymore. And so I started thinking like, hey, is there a way to exercise your mind? Now, what's that even mean? So, when you work out, you exercise, you get stronger, you get more fit, right? But what does that mean mentally? Maybe that means you could learn more, remember more for a lot longer. You can learn information just like that very quickly. That's what I started to think at the time, what exercising your mind meant. Because I never even knew there were such things as, kind of like mind exercises you could be doing. So that's why I thought. Now, by chance, my brother was reading this book and he told me about memory competitions. And I was like, memory competitions, huh? And so I did my own research, right? Went on internet, Googled it, and I came across the coolest thing to this day. I believe is probably one of the coolest things ever. This world where all these people were memorizing cards, numbers, names and faces, words, abstract images. I was like, man, how are these people doing it? It's so awesome. And I was just so excited. Like, I bet these people never had trouble in school. Having that memory in school would make it a piece of cake. It would make it so easy. But of course, I was like, these people are probably gifted, with these natural memories. These memories that are really good. They might even be savants. And so I was, kind of like excited, but also kind of disappointed because these people had such great, fantastic memories that I thought I couldn't do it. But then I kept on researching and I read these people were saying anyone could do it. Anyone can learn how to improve their memory. I'm like, baloney. You're telling me I could memorize a shuffle deck of cards. There is no way I could do that at all. They're just saying that, to get people to come to these competitions. I didn't want to believe I could do it because my whole life, my brother, uh, mom, my cousins, all these different people, right? They never had their memory improved, right? They never could memorize a shuffle deck of cards. So I was like, there's no way anyone could do this. And so, I kind of, continue doing the same study and I've been doing, right? Repeating all the time. And then I thought one day, hey, what do I have to lose? If I try to improve my memory and it works, school is going to be a million times easier. I'm going to have more free time to do what I want. And so it's going to completely change my life. And if it doesn't work, I'll just continue doing my old studying habits, right? Just repeating something over and over and over. And so I decided to give it a shot. And so I decided to go with memorizing a shuffle deck of cards. The first thing I was going to memorize. And I remember it to this day. So the first thing I had to do was make my journey. So this journey is from one of my best adventures I have ever been on. It's a 16-mile run around our city. Oh, that's a different story. But yeah, so made my journey, 26 stages. Made my journey. And I see it perfectly right now that I was in my room. So I wrote down all my different images for my cards, practiced that a little bit until I, kind of got them down. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to have that to the side just in case I need to look at it. And so I have my little my little TV tray table right here and my chair. And I'm just in the middle of my room, okay, with this TV tray table. And I'm going through, making sure I see my images, like, oh yeah, Darth Vader. Okay, got it. Yeah, King of Spades. Or King of Spades, that's going to be Scar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ace of Diamonds. Oh yeah, Dante. Oh yeah. So I'm saying that, right? Just going through. Boom. Memorizing it. Then in my head, I just walked through it a couple of times just to make sure I can see all my images. I'm like, yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. I think I could get it. And so, I was like, oh, let's go. Got the deck of cards and flipped it over, King of Spades, Five of Diamonds, Three of Clubs, going through the whole deck. And when I actually recall the last card, I was like, what just happened? This is the coolest thing ever. I was so excited because I thought this was impossible. I told myself I can never memorize the shuffle deck of cards. It took me 30 minutes to memorize my first deck of cards. Who cares? I was able to do it. And then I just started setting all these goals like, man, I'm going to be one of the best mental athletes. I'm going to break U.S. records, become a grandmaster of memory, and do all these different things. I was so excited. I got confidence. Memorizing that deck of cards gave me confidence in my memory. And so what I did from that point on was focus on competition memorization instead of actual useful information because I was just so excited by it. And then this journey I had, the first useful, I'm saying useful, because I decided to memorize 156 digits of pi. Not really useful, right? And so that's what I put on this journey. Until this day, I can walk through and still see the first 156 digits of pi. And so, because I had to memorize numbers for competition, so I started memorizing just numbers. That pi would be a good kind of practice. And so I was so excited, But then eventually I was like, hey, whoa. If I can memorize a shuffle deck of cards under 5 minutes, then memorizing a page of Spanish vocabulary, it's not going to take that long at all. It's going to be pretty simple. And so I got excited. Like, wait, let me start applying this to school real fast. And so that's why I did. No one taught me anything. I was all self-taught. I came up with my own methods, techniques, and systems to learn school information. And it completely transformed my life. Memory techniques didn't only transform my life, it saved my life. Because what happened was I wasn't stressed anymore. I wasn't nervous. I didn't have anxiety. I could actually eat breakfast in the morning. Now, people might be thinking, eating breakfast in the morning, how's that even an accomplishment? To me, it was. Because for 3 years, every single day before school, I couldn't eat anything because it made myself sick. But being able to eat breakfast in the morning was so amazing. It was one of the best things ever. And memory techniques allowed me to do that because I was able to learn all information in school in a shorter amount of time. I had more time to do what I want. My studying time was cut in half, probably way more in half. And then being able to know exactly, oh yeah, I have all the Spanish vocabulary words in my head. Oh yeah, I have all the different literary devices in my head too. Being able to check all that information in my head, in my memory, was amazing because I would know if I need to study or not, if I need to review or not. And so it was so incredible, just kind of repeating everything, going from that to using these memory techniques and knowing exactly where that information was stored in my memory, knowing exactly if I know it or not, and being able to take those tests a million times easier, being less stressful, going through like, yeah, I can see all the information. It was so cool. And of course, I finished high school valedictorian, student of the year, presidential scholar, and it was just absolutely amazing. Then I went to college, Colorado School of Mines, probably the worst school out there, absolutely horrible. But that's besides the point. So it's engineering school, and what I did was I used that my classes as training for my memory. My test, most students take their Taiwan test. They look very unhappy when they're taking the test. For me, it was a game. I was trying to see how fast I could take that test and get out of there because I was testing my speed of recall. How fast can I recall information? How can I get that one idea and this idea and bring them together to solve that problem I'm on? And so that's what it was to me, a game, a test for my memory. Not a test for learning engineering, a test for my memory. And so it was absolutely cool having the skill that everyone else wanted. When people heard and saw what I could do in college, they're like, man, how can I do that? Man, I want to do that. And the exact same thing is like, no, you could do the exact same thing. I could show you. They're like, nah, no, 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 no. It's too hard. I can't do it. You're smart. And so that's what people thought. And, it was kind of hard to kind of convince them otherwise, without giving memory techniques a chance. But they were always mad at me about the grades I got on my test. Like, what'd you get for chemistry? Oh, I got like a 99. Like, you got a 99? What? That is lame. You didn't even study as much as I did. I studied 10 hours. You only studied 2 hours. How is that possible? And so memory techniques just opened this new door. It gave me confidence in my mind, in my memory, that I'm able to learn information, be able to remember it for a lot longer, and I know that I know that information in my memory. So that's what memory techniques did. But memory techniques opened the door to just so many more things besides doing well in school. If it was high school and college, it allowed me to travel the world when I did competitions, going to England, becoming the youngest American grandmaster of memory at the age of 19 at the World Memory Championship, going to China to compete on the game show Super Brain, which was absolutely amazing, being able to represent the USA, because it was USA versus China. Then doing a game show in California. And so being able to travel the world because of my memory ability, because I trained my memory, but also giving speeches in a 6 month period. I kid you not, I probably gave 80 plus speeches to little kids all the way up to senior citizens, 90 plus years old. And I think helping the senior citizens was probably one of the best things ever because I could relate to them on the level of being scared and fearful all the time, stress. Because when you're a senior citizen, higher up in age, you get scared about having a brain disease like Alzheimer's, right? Like, oh my God, I forgot something. Did I, oh, does that mean I'm getting Alzheimer's? Well, am I going to forget more? That's what they get scared of because I talk to them. That's what they're afraid of. Then I have the chance to go in and talk to them, show them some simple memory techniques they can use to help them remember what they need to grab out of their room, to remember simple phone numbers, to remember names. Doing that was absolutely phenomenal. Helping those people gain confidence in their memory, you know, just reminds me how I got confidence in my memory by using these memory techniques. So helping the senior citizens was absolutely phenomenal. And it gave me so much, joy because I can help these people overcome something I felt, the fear, the stress. Maybe not for the exact same thing, but fear is fear. Stress and stress. You get sick, you get worried. They got the same thing too. So being able to help them was absolutely amazing. But then in the business world, going out to all these different business conventions, these conventions lasted 3 or 4 days, and everyone was amazed by me because I could recall their name. That's what drew people right away. Being able to say like, "Oh, hey, Jeff, what's going on?" They're like, "Hey, how'd you remember my name?" And so it started a conversation right away, right? And so I could talk about my memory stuff, but also getting to learn information about them, getting, starting conversations, getting opportunities given to me because I was able to remember someone's name. Then the next day, I could talk to them. Like, oh, hey Jeff, what's going on? Oh yeah, you say you were doing advertising for this company. They're like, oh yeah, they're so delighted is the word. That someone's paying attention to what they're doing. They're so happy that people are paying attention to what they're doing, that they can remember their name, remember their job. And of course, the best part is when they have kids or wives or husbands, being able to bring that up in conversation. Like, what does your husband think? Oh, are you doing this for your kids? Because you're bringing the personal aspect into it. And so, I've had a lot of doors open because of that. Because I can remember people's personal information. Because I can remember people's names, right? And so a lot of contact's been made. So it was absolutely amazing that memory techniques, improving your memory, allow me to get better grades in school. Okay? Allow me to help other people learn how to improve their memory. But also allow me to travel the world, open up new business opportunities, and overall just let me learn whatever I want to learn. And that's something I didn't really like to do when I was younger because why? I had to repeat everything in order to learn it. Now I can just go through something one time, boom, remember it for weeks, months, years. It's up to me on how long I want to remember it. And so memory techniques, just were this amazing thing that completely opened a new world to me, a new door. And I was just so happy by it. And teaching other people these memory techniques, working on my memory, trying to figure out what do other people struggle with? How can I help these people with their memory problems? That's probably one of the best things out there because I know people don't want to admit when they're stressed. People don't want to admit when they're nervous or worried because it's going to make, people might think, hey, that person's going to make fun of me if they know I'm stressed about trying to learn this information. I'm stressed about this class. I'm stressed about meeting these people. What happens if I can't remember my product information, my service information? And so being able to help people overcome that by showing them these memory techniques, showing them how to apply them, showing them how to actually start using them in an effective and efficient manner. That's the greatest thing because I don't want anyone to ever experience what I experienced, ever getting sick because you're so stressed out about learning information, about being able to remember information. I don't want anyone to ever experience that. And you could tell during this video where I, got sick just kind of thinking about it because it's real, those 3 years, absolutely horrible, feeling that all the time, throwing up sometimes as well. And just thinking about it right now brings back up, and I just don't like it. I don't really talk about that part at all because I just don't like the feeling, the memories it brings back. Don't like it at all. And so I'm just so excited, that I was able to find memory techniques, learn about them, and completely change my life and just go in a completely new direction. That's what's amazing. And that's what I want to help people realize that they have the ability, that you have the ability to improve your memory, that you could do whatever you want to do, and having a better memory is going to help you accomplish that. If you go to school, go back to school, memory training is going to help you with information. You want to make a bigger impact on your customers you serve in the business world, memory is going to help you to learn all that information. If it's personal information, if it's marketing information, product information, whatever it may be. Memory techniques can absolutely and will change your life like it changed mine. And that's my memory journey story.